Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Luke here from Astro Awakening. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another year. So apparently it's a new year, according to who? If you Google the different calendars around the world, you'll see that we're on the Gregorian calendar, and there are literally hundreds of different calendars or ways to measure time. We just agree upon that it's 2022. But is it really? And are we really in a new year? Because, gee, it feels a lot like 2021. In fact, what I've been saying to a lot of my clients is let's get through till May and then maybe the new year. I know the astrological new year begins with the ingress of the sun into Aries in March 22nd, 21st. But I just think that this first quarter, at least, of 2022 is just 2021 on steroids. But the good news is there's a shift coming. There's a shift coming. So this video isn't about the new moon, the full moon that's coming. It isn't about the nodal shift. It isn't about, the year ahead. It's just basically Mercury retrograde. And I've got to tell you, I've just spent the last little while, in some sessions earlier this year, as well as today, and just a little bit of research, looking just at the Mercury retrograde that's happening tomorrow for the, from the 15th of January to the 4th of February. And just looking at it, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, I'm literally exhausted just looking at it. It's not fucking hell. The good thing is I do feel that there is going to be a change. In fact, we're in Mercury shadow right now as I record this on the 13th of January at 6:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Queensland time. We're in Mercury shadow. We've been in Mercury shadow for a bit. So we're getting a little bit of a taste of what's to come. And, I think that's Mercury retrograde is going to be that on steroids. What's interesting about this Mercury retrograde is that it happens in between Saturn and Pluto, right? So Mercury is going to get up to the 10th degree of Aquarius, just almost conjunct Saturn in Aquarius at 13 degrees, and then retrograde back and hit Pluto at 26, 27 degrees of Cap, and then just past it and station around the 24th, 5th degree of Capricorn. And I find that interesting because if we use the clock, the sky clock, because that's basically what it is. It's telling us the time of the evolution of human consciousness and all consciousness, really, not just human. Who am I to say that humans are the only one? But I certainly feel like we're the only conscious ones that are able to actually look up. I think animals instinctively are in tune with it, but at least we consciously can look up and discern and interpret and navigate using the clock of the evolution of consciousness here on Earth. So using that clock, if we go back to 12th, 13th of January 2020, when all this shit kicked off, really, the beginning of it, you had people dropping dead in the streets of Wuhan on the media, those fork-tongued media, right? Those tricksters. And what do we have in the sky clock? We have Pluto, Saturn, Mercury, all at the 22nd degree of Capricorn. So a massive conjunction, right? Pluto, transformation, death and rebirth, purging, secretive, disempowering, plutocratic. Certainly, Pluto has this element of manipulation from behind the scenes. Something's going on, has to be going on, that we in the collective consciousness are not privy to. Pluto. And where is it going on? In Capricorn, the government. What I feel is what's happened is there's been infiltration and orchestration from these secret societies. And what they've done over the last however many years, probably since the first Hiroshima bomb went off. Sorry. I correct myself. Since the first atomic bomb went off in the 40s. So the atomic bomb went off, we had the moon landing, we have JFK's assassination, atomic bomb went off. We had Admiral Byrd going beyond Antarctica, beyond the ice wall. We had, the race to the moon and JFK's assassination, because he was about to reveal, holy shit, it's all fucking fake. And then we have the fake moon landing. And now what we're having is the revelation of the method. Revelation of the method. What has been happening in that period of time is these secret Pluto organizations, call them secret societies, have been slowly, methodically, practically, consistently infiltrating every fucking system of control and authority in our reality. The banking system, the financial system, the education system, our media system, the political system, the governing system, our military systems, everywhere, in high places. And they've either positioned themselves or their proxies. In other words, people that they can control and manipulate. Either way, it doesn't matter. Because a lot of these people, actually, they're faceless. They remain in the shadow of Pluto, right? And from there, they're able to manipulate from the shadow, manipulate and control people. So it's really well orchestrated and put together. So if we fast forward to 12th, 13th of January, 2020, and this is actually for you personal people out there that want to know about Mercury retrograde and how you navigate Mercury retrograde, go back to 2020, at the beginning of 2020, around January, early January, and around that period of time. So it would have been, with the shadow period, we're probably talking, Christmas 2019, into New Year's, into January, and into early Feb. What was happening in your personal life around that period of time when all this broke? What was going on? Can you remember? Can you reflect? It's hard, actually. With everything that's gone on in the last 2 years, it's really hard to go back to that state of being, consciousness, and reflect. But why is that important? Because this Mercury retrograde, if we go back to that point, you had Pluto, Saturn, right? Authority, restriction, limitation, challenge, obstacle, control. It's a cold, restrictive, authoritarian type, patriarchal, maintain things, as they are. Also in Capricorn, the sign that rules, really strong, being deeply, it's a time for these Pluto secretive behind the scenes manipulators to really step into their power. The Satanists, satanic, it's just an aspect, I believe, or an element of the dark shadow side of Saturn. Saturn itself is not intrinsically negative, but can be used in a very negative way. And then Pluto, the messenger, the narrative, the story, the trickster, the media, right? The messenger of the gods, sitting right on top of all three in alignment in Capricorn, 22 degrees, boom. And what have we had unfold since then? Yes, March of 2020 was really when this kicked off. So I encourage you to go back and look at the astrology for March of 2020, because that'll tell a story, especially you budding astrologers out there. But if we fast forward now in this Mercury retrograde, Mercury's come up in the sky and it's just sitting just up on nudging Saturn, just in this sort of, imagine that here is Saturn, here is, Pluto. Well, Mercury is going to retrograde in between those two planets. So a lot of what's going to unfold with this Mercury retrograde is tied into the narrative, the story, and what happened in 2020. But I feel with this one, we're getting a shift, and we're already getting that shift, right? Just announced today in the state that I'm in was the removal of the border control point from Queensland to New South Wales, and Queensland, I feel like Queensland to Northern Territory and other places, but definitely Queensland, New South Wales, which is a huge one because the vast majority of the population of Australia lives on the eastern coast, Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, okay? Tasmania is part of New Zealand, and Western Australia is that. What is that? What is that over there? I'm joking. Of course, I'm joking. But seriously, vast majority of the density of population in Australia lives on that spot. So you've had, for Christ knows how long, you've had the Queensland Nazis, just like the Victorian ones. I don't let any people got to keep this aside. But their narratives fall apart. The systems are falling apart. It's just crazy. Now, I ask for those people out there that don't watch this video because they don't follow me and they're never going to, but imagine the people, the poor people, that got the juice because they wanted to cross the border. And now, come Saturday, Mercury retrograde, changing of the story, changing of the narrative, actually, they're not even going to have any restrictions there anymore. You can just pass in and out. Right. Now, unfortunately, what will happen for those people that have done it is there'll be some sort of validation or justification that they'll make in their mind. Oh, you know, but well, you know, because I don't want to feel insecure and like they've been had. But let me tell you something. You've been fucking had. All you had to do is hold out, wait out, or find a way to navigate the bullshit system. And this is what is taking place. They're letting go of it. They're letting go of it fast. Because it's shifting. Consciousness is shifting. The collective is like shifting. So let's, you know, it helps me because I'm looking at the screen and the little dot and I see myself and, you know, and although I'm pretty, and just on a personal note, I'm on a new location. I have proposed to my beautiful girlfriend and she said yes, and she's amazing. I'm just in a really good place. I've got the kids here visiting, which I hadn't seen the kids since August. So they came up here in Queensland between Christmas and New Year, and they're going back to their mum later this month. But it's been really good, but it's been hectic. Yeah, and also, you know, children here, moving house, engagement. It's a lot going on. So I haven't been as busy or active on the socials, but I'm calling to get back onto things to sort of go, right, you know, this is a lot of why I'm doing what I'm doing, because of the experience that I have had and the transition that I've personally made, and the ability to help you also make the transition out of what? The fucking matrix. And now is a really good time to detach. You know, Mercury is going to retrograde in Aquarius, and Aquarius, one of the good attributes of Aquarian, when used constructively, is detachment. Detachment of what? Of feelings, hurt, pain, insecurity, fear, resentment, anger, frustration. Just detach from it. Just when you detach from all that, and the me and the I and the little insignificant you, you're able to like see the bigger picture, and you're able to just like, you know, it's like the popcorn on the side. Oh wow, oh this is happening. Because again, when I break down the Mercury retrograde in this video, it's gonna be like, whoa, this is a lot to deal with. There's a lot going on in this short little 3-week period. So, you know, if you aren't able to detach, you're being called to detach now. If you aren't able to detach, these next 3 weeks are going to be really tumultuous, I would say. Yeah, the emoji. Be able to see the light in this. The Fool, right, in the tarot. The Fool, just because it's all a fucking mirage. It's all an illusion at the end of the day. Maya. But anyway, let's dive into the interpretation of this Mercury retrograde. Share the screen. Okay, where are we now? Let me just get through to the right moment in time. Friday. I think it's Friday evening. So it's Friday, Saturday, the retrograde. But, you know, Mercury's stationing now, so it's slowing down to a stop. I like Rick Levine's analogy of Mercury retrograde is like a Ferrari slamming on the brakes and then jucking it into reverse. you know, reversing. So you imagine if you're in the Ferrari, you're going to be like, oh, whoa. A lot different to the outer planet retrogrades. I always like that analogy that he makes of the Mercury retrograde. Like a couple of years ago, I listened to a video of his, and he broke it down that way, and it's always just stuck in my mind. But that's Mercury is the speedster, he's the trickster, he's the fastest moving planet, right? He has the winged messenger. He has the little tick or the wing, tick Mercury, Nike, sorry, on his shoes because it depicts flight, like speed. So he's the speedy, zip, zip, zippity doodah, 88 days to go around the sun. Woo! So he's moving quick. So when he retrogrades, like, back we go. So the mind, because Mercury rules over the mind is like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? So, you know, there's the cliches of don't sign contracts and make sure you watch your messages and take longer on your trips. And I've been a proponent of some of those things. But the reason is because the mind all of a sudden is pulled back. It's pulled back to reflect, to slow down. It stops. And it's like, oh, what actually, it can be like you have your blinkers on sometimes and you're going down this thing and you're like, you can't see anything else. It's like, you know, you one-track mind and all of a sudden Mercury retrograde and you're like, whoa, the blinkers come off and you see the bigger picture or the reality and you're like, whoa, fuck, I almost jumped off that cliff. Shit, what am I doing? Better not do that, maybe. What was I thinking? But if you're unaware, maybe you just jump off the fucking cliff and then you're like at the bottom all broken up and be like, I wish I hadn't done that. And that can be the hangover effect of the Mercury retrograde if you do life-changing decisions within that period, because you jumped off a cliff into a new reality and now Mercury goes direct. Again, that same sort of process of like, whoa, what? And you're like, oh, shit. I can't go forward because I jumped off a cliff and my leg's broken. And I'm using metaphor. So don't be like out there going, oh my God, my leg's gonna break. That's well, I mean, Aquarius does rule the calf muscle. We're going to go back into Capricorn, which rules the knee. So watch, you know, because Mercury rules over the mind, the intellect, the communication, but also transportation. Right? How do we get to and fro? How do we get to different places? So just watch for little injuries in the calf or the knee. Right? Oh, I did my knee or I did my calf. I've been having a lot of issues as Saturn goes through my third house in Aquarius. Oh man, I've been getting tense, tight calves, right? Just like we've moved into it, you know, a 3-story walk-up building. So that's like 3 flights of stairs. And yeah, just getting little twinges and itches in my calf muscles. I have a bung knee, my right knee, but that's self-inflicted, you know, and I have Saturn, who rules Capricorn, on my sun. So yeah, I have a bit of a bung knee. But anyway, I digress. Let me grab my thoughts here, actually. It's been a while since I did one of these. Hopefully you're still watching by now. You're like, come on, get on with the fucking Mercury retrograde. For fuck's sake. Where's come here for the astrology? I don't want to hear your fucking personal life story. Fuck you. Oh, I don't like that old guy. I'm triggered. So anyway, I think I was just on a digression anyway about, you know, Mercury representing all the cliches around Mercury retrograde. But let's get back to it. So I'm still clicking, actually. That's what I'm doing. I'm a clicker. I'm a clicker forward. On it. If you've got Astro Gold or any other such astrology, you'll notice a retrograding planet. So we have Venus already retrograding Capricorn, but retrograding planet is depicted in red around their degree and minute sort of numbers. So it'll be Friday sometime between 9 and 10 p.m. for you Virgoans out there that like detail. I will put this in the show notes, the exact time, but it doesn't really matter. It's Friday, Saturday is the Mercury retrograde. So tomorrow when you wake up, if you're watching this tonight, you know, just take a little bit more time, be a little bit more patient. It is conjunct Saturn, so it could be like some sort of restriction, responsibility, something blocking you, something that's sort of stopping you. Yeah. The interesting thing, as we see here, is that Mercury's exactly square Uranus. So this is the change in the story. And because Mercury finds itself, what I believe in between this Pluto Saturn, which is the unfoldment of this story from 2020, I believe that there's going to be a sudden shift or change. And as that narrative that's been playing out for the last 2 years falls apart, and if you're consciously aware and watching this, you obviously are, you can see it falling apart. It's just the government and the mainstream media are going to be the last ones. And actually, in fact, they're not going to ever show you, of course. So what do they need? If the narrative's falling apart, if they're dropping the border restrictions, if things are easing back, if they're just, they're still pushing out there, get your third dose, get your third dose. I always think of in the first Men in Black movie when the alien tries to get into the skin of the garbage guy, and it's get your third dose. That's really what it looks like at the moment. It's like, oh fuck! If you can't see that, then I don't know what is going to shake you out of that psychosis. I mean, I don't know what. Go watch the Men in Black and look at the guy that's in the alien in the guy suit, and that's fucking you, bro. Sorry to say it. I know there's people out there that probably like me or their friends or family. They're like, who said that? No, me, I just got my first dose. Good for you. Yeah, all heart. This is for your own good. Your ego probably don't like it though. But they're out there, these puppets, these puppeteers. Some of them are part of it and some of them are just being controlled by their own fear or insecurity, or they're being bought out. So that's the other thing. They're being bought out. And they're out there and they're pushing this, but it's falling apart. So what do you need? Well, you need some sort of manufactured crisis. You need a distraction. You need something to shift the weight. Hence, Djokovic in Australia, the Joker, right? And what are they being, the treatment of him? What is that doing? That is funneling all of the collective consciousness, right, which is 70% of the population that are asleep. It's funneling all of that into this debate and division and argument over, let him in. No, fuck him. He should follow the rules. No, he's a freedom fighter. He's just like, he did follow the rules. And it's like, And meanwhile, what's really going on is, holy fuck, you've been had. You've been had. Hello. Just look beyond that story and you've been fucking had. But no, we gotta put our energy into, oh no, Djokovic, let him in, no, fuck him off, let him in, fuck him off. It's like, you've been had the whole time. So there's this distraction, but I feel like this Mercury retrograde, there's going to be like a snap event, a sudden, ooh, what the fuck happened? Shit, I didn't see that coming. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, what? Oh, it doesn't matter, I got the juice and it was okay. Like, it didn't really affect me. Lost, my hair. But I feel good, but look over here, like this is going on. So they need something like that to take the heat, the pressure, and to be able to deflect and change the story. So what happens in this Mercury retrograde on Friday the 15th? Well, we move along a little bit in this sort of picture and we go to the 18th, which is only 3 days, right? So Mercury's still going to be sitting around that 10th, 9th degree. We go 3 days into the future and we've got a full moon in Cancer opposite Pluto. Ooh, do you think there's going to be a little bit of a sudden thing coming to light? A little bit of, something revealed, something shocking, something dark that comes to light, some sort of event, some crisis, Pluto ruling over crisis, transformation through crisis. And happening on the full moon of Cancer. Now, let me just give you a little, this isn't a Cancer full moon video. I'll probably try and do one of those. I keep saying these things, but fuck, life's busy. Plus I'm mad with my readings at the moment. So, but Cancer is the mother and the child, but the mother. And they're trying to jab the children, right? Gotta jab the children of the world. They're our future. Gotta keep them safe. Yeah. We're gonna get them. We're just gonna jab them. right? What are they trying to do? They're trying to jab the children. And people go, we've got to protect the children. It's not about the children. It's about the mother. This is an attack on children. It's an attack on the mother. And who's the mother? The divine mother. It's an attack on your body. Your body is a miniature version of this earth. And this earth is what? Mother Earth. And we're in this full moon in Cancer. And what is required, instead of these mothers out there virtue signaling and sending their lambs to the slaughter, their kids, their rams, their sheep, their goats, their kids, children, the symbolism, right? Instead of those mothers out there, and those mothers are in a place of fear, and they're not in their divinity. They're not in their divine power. They are not in their divine power. I don't give a fuck what influencer says that. They are not. That fierce divine feminine, that mother energy, that power. Ask yourself growing up, who was the one that really, Dad might have been the strict one or the authoritarian one or the one that sort of breadwinner in it. Mum ruled that fucking shit. Mum still does. And this jab the child is not about the children. It's about the mother, and it's attacking the mother. So you mothers out there watching this, a lot of my clients are women. Fucking respect. Stand strong, stand firm, and let that mother, divine, Mother Earth, divinity, that courage, that empowerment, and that protective quality. Cancer is the crab. Don't you fucking come here, man. I will fuck your shit up. And what do? They protect their home. Right? They protect at all costs. Super protective. Let that be the energy. That's divinity. And ain't no one coming to do that to your children. It's hard for a lot of people because they've got family, mother, Cancer, family, that are consciously unaware. And they're sending their kids, children, sheep, lambs, off to the slaughter. And you want to do something about it, but unfortunately, all you do is you say no. Your matrix you're Neo in the matrix, and you hit your hand up. They're fucking bullets. They're not bullets. They're syringes. They're coming. You say no. Right. Now Neo doesn't go, fuck you, no, you fucking prick, fuck off, no, you can't do it in rage. He just looks up. Boom. No. And that's what's being called for. The mother aspect out there, that divine mother archetype, is get protective. They're coming for you, right? How do they get to you? Through your child. I've been doing that for a long time. We're in this to get her. We're in this to get her. We're in this to get her. They hate. Who's they? The people that are doing this. They hate. They despise the divine feminine. They despise it. Because if they ostracize it, they ridicule it, they're downtrodden the divine feminine, that empowers them and they are in control. But guess what? In the face of the divine feminine, they are oblivious. They can be sent to oblivion. Just dust. Go watch I Pet Goat 2. It's going to happen. So, don't lose faith. Detach, see the big picture. So anyway, this is 3 days later. Where are we on the chart for you astrology followers out here? By the way, what you want to do is find the Aquarius, Capricorn houses in your chart, right? So, and you want to find them, and this is what your retrograde is a little bit about. The area of life of those houses, whether it's money and finance, whether it's your health, your personal health and your finances, or your finances and your siblings and your communication, your familiar area, your home, your creativity, your own children, your romance and your work, wherever your service, your daily life, your routines, your health, your relationships, your shared resources, death, taxes, debt, inheritances, those, and amongst, long distance travel, philosophy, religion, spirituality, career, ambitions, goals, right? You get the picture. So follow it around your chart. The other thing you want to do is find Mercury in your chart. And where is he placed? She, hermaphrodite, Hermes Trismegistus, thrice greatest. Where is Mercury in your chart? You want to find that, and you want to then look at the chart that it's in. And then you also want to find where Mercury rules, which is Virgo and Gemini. And there's the picture. So what's going to happen for me for the Mercury retrograde? Well, all of those things combined. So if you want to dig down personally, book in for an Astro Session. This is what I do as a job. We sort of help people understand using the chart. Anyway, digression. Let's go to days. Let's go to the full moon. Oops. So that's the full moon. I'm not doing a full moon breakdown. I'm trying not to digress here. I'm just showing you what is happening within 3 days of the retrograde. Is a full moon in Cancer, opposite Pluto, with the sun conjunct Pluto, right? Over here is the moon. This is the 18th, right? And if we go into the 19th, Uranus has gone direct, right? Squaring Mercury, trining Venus. And Venus is the ruler of Uranus. And you've also got the nodal shift. Boom. North node is into Taurus, south node is into Scorpio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a nodal breakdown, a free event, a nodal transition, and a full moon all in one, free, on Zoom. The details will come out through my social media very soon. It'll probably be in the next few days, Sunday or Monday. So I'm going to specifically break down the nodal shift and go back in time into the future. And we're going to look at the eclipses this year because they're happening on a new axis. We're going to have a look at the major energy transition and what was happening 18 years ago. Operation Desert Storm. No, it was weapons of mass destruction. And what that can mean. So yeah, but here we are in the Mercury retrograde story, and this is now 4 days after Mercury retrograde, and you've got Uranus direct, which was square at the time of the retrograde, and you've got the nodal shift happening. It's like, whoa, like fuck, man, talk about dynamic energies and just the shifting of these energies. Like the story is going to change. If it turns to shit out there chaotically, supply chains, media, like, you know, just detach a little bit. Preparedness is the best thing. Awareness and preparedness. The awareness leads to preparedness. And it's not panic, right? You've got Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. You don't want to be in that panic place of, what am I going to do? Well, that's just unpreparedness, right? So preparedness meets, challenge that creates opportunity. Pretty simple. But so that's then, and then we've got a few days later, right? I'm just going to whiz through now. Watch Mars. Mars moves into Capricorn on the 24th, 25th of January. So we're going to have Mars, Venus, Pluto, and Mercury moves a day later into Capricorn, all into Capricorn. You know what? We could see some military intervention into our or use from our government, right? Because of whatever perceived, something going on, and everyone's like, look over here. What happened to COVID? It'll just be like, what? It'll be a very rapid disintegration of that story and a shift of people's consciousness onto something else, the new boogeyman. So, don't buy into it. But, there might be military intervention. There might be use of military by Mars. Mars and Saturn are moving closer and closer together in the sky, and they're going to come in March into Aquarius together. So that's going to be a bit of a roughy, bumpy ride coming up. And then later this year in October and November, we've got a Mars retrograde in Gemini. So it's going to be, like I said, 2022 is 2021 dialed up a little bit. It's a 6 year, right? So 2022, 222 is a 6 year. 6. So 6 is in the Kabbalah, which is a, Jewish mysticism, basically. If the word Kabbalah triggers you, you're in the wrong place. Right? So you haven't done, you're ignorant, and you've heard something that is misleading and unguided. So, like all things, Saturn, for an example, can be used negatively. So too can the Kabbalah. But if we break from that and we use just the Kabbalistic sort of symbolism of the number 6, it rules over beauty and the heart. And I believe that they're going to be doing everything they can. Venus retrograde in Capricorn. She's going to be besieged soon in Aquarius. So she's going to be, what are they going after? Not only the divine mother, the feminine, but also the heart, what you value, what you love. So how do you combat that? You stay in your heart no matter what. This is a place of power. It's not here, it's here. Right? This sets you free. This doesn't. This sets you free. So yeah, the 6 being Tifereth or beauty, or harmony is another way to look at it, right? So 2022 is calling you into that, no matter what is going on in the world. If you're cultivating an inner state of peace and harmony, you can be in literally chaos and be like, oh. So that's your mission. Use this retrograde period to practice that. How do you practice it? You detach from what's going on, right? If you're unable to process what's going on without being really emotionally volatile or enraged or saddened or whatever, then you aren't able to process what's going on. You can't detach and see it for what it is. It's a mind control system. You control your thoughts. Through the thoughts, they can activate your emotions. They control your thoughts and your emotions. They can control what you think, what you believe. They can control that. They can control you and your reality. They don't have control of the reality. They have the control of the people which manifest the reality. So be Neo in the Matrix. No. Go rewatch that. I watched the next Matrix. Now you can never measure up. It's like the first movie and then there's the next one is like, you can never measure up to the original Matrix. It was so profound and groundbreaking. But what I did like about the new Matrix was the message behind the movie. And it's like, game over, motherfuckers. Yeah, okay. There may be a Matrix, but guess what? We get to fucking start to reshape it into our Matrix now. And that's what the Age of Awakening is about. It's the individuation process of us reclaiming our sovereignty and our divinity within, that Christ-like consciousness from within, and just being the Neo and going, and there'll be those for a lingering period of time that stay trapped within the old system and the old Matrix and go, I just got my 5th booster. Cool. All right. So yeah. 26th, so 25th, 24th, 25th, 26th, something like that. Mars is moving into Capricorn. The 30th, you've got Venus going direct. The 31st, you've got the Sun squaring Uranus. The 1st of February is a new moon. And then the 4th of February is all this Mercury retrograde. And now we have a new reality and we move into February. And if by then the financial system hasn't collapsed or the fake collapse has happened, I would suspect that we would get to about the full moon in February and there will be some sort of financial Armageddon or as a result of what had happened or perceived, whether it's a man-made crisis or a natural one. I don't know. I'm basically going on now. It's like, I don't know. But I know that shit's going to change. And I know that, the way in which they control and manipulate your mind and the way you think. So just, be the Neo. Don't let it affect you. So what I'm going to do is I'll put some details up about this full moon nodal shift breakdown. It'll be live. There'll be question and answers. There'll be some personal stuff so you can help look to your own chart where the eclipses are going to be falling over the next year and a half. We can go back 18 and a half, 19 years ago and have a look at what was going on, what we can expect. We can best prepare. The full moon is going to be quite epic as well. in fact, the next few full moons, the first half of this year, are really fucking powerful full moons and new moons. So there's change. There is change, and it's been building, but it hasn't yet come through. So prepare, prepare for change. How do you best prepare for change? Remain open and flexible. Okay, remain open and flexible. If you push against a resistance and you're butting your head against the wall, you're screaming and why won't they wake up and you're angry, you are basically projecting out into the world and needing the world to be different. And in fact, the way in which you change your world, your reality, your universe, your one word, your one verse, is you change your projection. You change, and it, as a result, changes. So there'll be a free event. Stay tuned to your social media as to when that's going to happen. If you'd like a personal reading, probably the best one is either a personal astrology reading for an hour and a half or a year ahead. The difference between those is a personal astrology reading, when I'm doing my research into your chart, I'm just going for your birth chart. Intrinsically, I'm looking at some patterns of behavior, some unconscious patterns, desires, and things like that. I'm doing a little bit of the transits, the progressions, and seeing where you're at, but I'm basically just narrowing down into your personal life. In the year ahead, what I'm doing is I'm looking at your chart, but I'm applying that to what's happening this year and what you can expect. So it's a little different. So if you're confused as to which one, you know, that's the way to think of it. If I've got something personal going on, I'm stuck, and maybe there's something I need to address, or I'm not seeing, or I'm not clear on, personal astrology reading, it's the same price, I believe, I think. If you're feeling pretty good, but you're like, all right, I just want to best prepare for, like, you know, the year, then year ahead astrology. If you want to get in tune with your kids, conscious parenting. If you want a really deep session where we look at both of personal and the year ahead, book in a deep session for 2 hours. Yeah, so look after yourselves. Remember to pop down here. All right, don't be up in here. Detach. Mercury Retrograde Aquarius, detach, right? It's going to go back into a Capricorn, so there are some responsibilities that need to be attended to that have been overlooked, and maybe it's just with Venus retrograde in Capricorn too. It's like, what's most important for you? Where's your best expenditure of time and energy? Like, what's really important? At the end of the day, when all's said and done, what's the most important thing? Really, what can you take with you? What do you cherish? You know, that's where you put your energy and your focus, and everything else, let it go. Let it go. Let it be. That's the best song, actually, for this Mercury retrograde 3-week period. The Beatles, Let It Be. And on that note, peace out.